Welcome to your August 11th Power Hour meeting with Katelyn, Carly, and Clare Fulton. It's been some time since we had a long weekend. Hope everyone's had a nice August so far. But other than summer vacations, tell us what you've been doing in the market. Has anyone been doing open houses this past weekend? And online too, you can chime in. I didn't get any messages. You're nodding, Chad, you did? Where and what? Okay, someone else while he finishes his bite. Anyone online? I didn't see a ton.
I didn't hear about a lot of open houses either.
I didn't get a ton of notifications actually, but.
I did Sandy's listing in Whitby.
Okay, Whitby. Yeah.
3-bedroom, 2-bathroom townhouse. Saturday was busier than Sunday.
Okay.
Got about 21 groups.
Saturday busier than Sunday. There's never.
And he's holding offers on his. Yeah.
Okay.
And Sunday was about 15.
Condo townhome? Or freehold?
Freehold.
Okay.
That's still a lot. 15, 20 groups through a whole weekend.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Under $1 million?
699. So recently sold for 850.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When was the recent sale?
2-3 months ago.
Yeah, so probably less than that, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Anyone else? I think it was any showings or people or buyers out and about.
I converted a renter into a buyer, potentially.
That's good. Converted a renter into a buyer potentially. Same houses for sale and for lease, right? So that's quite common. I see our own agents trying that strategy as well, seeing which one picks up first. But then I think at that price point, you're probably doing the math and figuring if you're going to rent for that much a month, what's looking to buying it? And they did. That's good. Anyone else seeing that renters maybe on the cusp of renting or buying and have a kind of a hard time deciding?
Well, I had a listing that was coming up that was either for lease or
For sale.
Like sale.
Yeah.
Kind of overpriced the lease.
Okay.
And also, well, I was gonna put it up for sale, but it already got leased.
You got lease first.
So.
Yeah. Did you have more activity on the lease side than the
Oh, yeah.
sale side? You did. Yeah.
Well, no, I didn't really list it for sale.
Okay, okay.
I was because it's still tenanted and they're leaving on the 15th.
Fair.
But like we overpriced it by a little bit. Like,
And you still got
but-
something.
We still got that.
Yeah. Was it a house by
No,
chance? Condo. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Well, we have stats, and the headlines took some little tidbits of those stats, which we'll go through as well. But yeah, how was your weekend?
Good, yeah. So were you busy at all? Nelson, were you busy in the weekend? No?
Just a couple of calls.
A couple of calls and that,
Obviously,
so.
we're busy with all the closings on August 1st. Catch up, so something
Yeah.
was working.
Did you
Yeah.
guys see that email that went out? I don't know if anyone paid attention or not. We did 100 deals on one day, August 1st.
Leases, a lot of.
Mostly leases, yeah, but also like a lot of purchases. We had a lot of July 31st, August 1st, and then even more throughout August. So we're still closing those even today, right now. So that will all be done probably today or tomorrow. But I know a lot of people have been busy then. I know we got a lot of deals on August 1st on the day of closing, so that's really fun to pay out as well. But yeah, so thanks for your patience
So
with that.
just so you know, it takes what, 20 minutes, half an hour to close a deal?
Probably half an hour to do one.
So
yeah.
just one day, that's 50 hours of work. So just so you know one thing, where's my check? And unfortunately, we had about a dozen deals that leases, I guess they were, that closed on April 1st or September
Okay.
3rd or July 30th, and April or August 1st, right? And we got the paperwork on August the 5th, and the agent wanted the client paid
Check,
right away.
yeah. Like the landlord check.
You follow me there? So a little difficult, but anyways, we'll get by it.
We'll
So-
get through, yeah. And it's a good reminder for you guys if you're dealing with landlord clients and they're expecting a balance of deposit back, they're likely not going to get it the same day. Maybe if it was a month where we didn't have a ton of stuff, we could get it closed out the same day. But prep them. It's going to take some time, especially over a long weekend and a full moon. You know, if it's a full moon week, you got to let your clients know that too, because that impacts
It was a
everything.
full moon this week.
So we had full moon, we had vacations, we had a long weekend. There's a lot of factors.
Pages
right?
on mat leave now.
Yes, exactly.
So-
Yes, yeah.
There's nothing for you guys too, but if we have a sale, we get a notice from the lawyer saying, hey, the deal closed, thank you very much. When it comes to a lease, we get nothing. All we say is, where's the check?
Where's the check?
So we don't know it even closed, so. you
Yeah.
know, so that's, but we'll deal with those.
Yeah. You always come to me if you need help with anything like that as well. But that was fun. That was a good month. It's a good thing. So I love doing lots of deals. It's great.
Did you have lots of closings too yourself there?
Yeah, do you like that?
Got brand here too, so.
Yeah. No, it's been a good couple months.
So the last week in July would have been the slowest, and the first week in August would have been the slowest, and the heat wave, I think, affected somebody too. Didn't the heat wave, that just, I'm sure a lot of people never even left their house.
It's so hot.
Right, it was very, very hot, and today it's supposed to be hotter again, so kind of curious. But and the sad thing is, I heard this on the radio this morning that the exhibition starts on Friday.
No! Do you guys know what that means? Chad mentioned it today too.
Eh?
It's the end of summer.
The exhibition starts on Friday. That means the summer's coming soon, which means a lot of people will be taking their kids to the schools and getting school clothes and
Back to school
uniforms
shopping.
and before school shopping and so on and so forth. So if it's going to get busy, it's going to, I don't know, it's be.
I feel like back to school is like a week earlier this year, no?
Yeah, right after a long week.
You feel like the first.
There's just no forgiveness.
So last time we talked, they came out with the stats for July. And they're okay. I mean, they're saying here that the GTA experienced the best home sales results for the month of July since 2021.
Oh,
Right?
I hope Chris puts that in.
Pretty strong, right? Last July was the best July we've had since 2021,
Yeah.
which would have been,
Strongest July
which would have been prior to, well, it would have been after
during
the
COVID,
pandemic,
basically.
right? And then just in the middle of it, 22 would have been the peak.
yep.
6,100 sales. So last year was 5,500 sales, so about 10.9% increase in unit sales. New listings were about 5.7% more than were last year, and active listings at the end of the month were 30,215, which was also up about 26% from last year. So there's still lots of inventory. There's still a buyer's market, I suppose you want to call it that. Months of inventory you've got there. What's your month of inventory?
4.5,
And that's for overall,
up
right?
from 3.2 last year.
Yeah, so 3.2 month of inventory last year, 4.5 this year, which means that for every 4.5 listings out there, only one is selling. And if you divide it between condos and freeholds, I believe freeholds would probably be. Did you break that down now?
Which one?
Condos versus freeholds, months of inventory.
No, we don't
No.
break that down.
Anyways, months of inventory for freeholds, I'm guessing here is probably about overall was how much for?
4.5 overall. So probably a lot more for condos.
4.5, doesn't seem right.
Sorry, it should be 5 point. That was just your sample. That was not a.
Yeah,
that's
sorry.
actually July. That's a sample. Don't.
Well,
It's 5.
yeah,
It's
wait a
5.
second, yeah,
Sorry, this is last
doesn't
month.
seem right
Yeah,
here,
sorry, that's something
so-
else. It's 5.
Okay, yeah, it's 5 to 1 is the months of inventory.
Yeah, compared to 4.4 last
Compared
year.
to 4.4
Yeah.
last year, and if we break it down into freehold versus condos, I think condos are almost 7 to 1. I think it's about
Yeah.
6.9 to 1. So if you got a condo for sale, only 1 of every 7 is going to sell. So to make yours that 1 out of 7, what do you have to do? Right, you have to make sure it's the price to sell, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's it, right? So if you got clients out there, especially condominiums is very simple. I think if you've got condominiums not selling, it's overpriced, and you just do the price per square foot and you're done. You can't say, I guess you got different floors and the south side, north side, or the view has some differences, but not a whole lot, right? Average price was $1,051,000, so it's minus 5.5%. This is the first month in July where the prices actually dropped since January. So there's January price, and there's February, March, April, May, June, July. Those are all little increases all along until this month. So they've gone down a little bit from to $1,050,000, right?
Yeah, we're close to 2021 pricing almost.
So 2021 prices, so that's okay. And 6,100 sales is it's not enough. 6 times 12 is what, 72,000. So 72,000 is not a whole lot of sales. Just to give you comparisons there, in 2022, which would have been the peak market, the sales were over 120,000, I think. So 70,000 is still not there. So it's still a buyer's market, but it's out there. Sales themselves, for as I said, overall sales were up 10.9%. If we look at the detached, they're actually up 11%. Semi-detaches are up 25%. So semi-detached homes were the flavor last month. Townhouses were up 7.9, and condominiums are only up 5.8, but still up from last year. So that's encouraging. If we look at the average prices, though, average prices for detached were minus 5.1, semi-detaches minus 2.3, townhouses minus 7.4, and the condominium average price down 9.3%. So same thing, if you got condominium sitting there, then it's still sitting there, right? But you have to be careful, because I believe it's just the little stuff that's not selling. You have to analyze it, what's going on with your particular condo. If you've got a condo that's 500 square feet, 400, 500, 550, I think those are the ones that are hanging around, and they're probably like a 7-to-1 ratio for sales. If you've got the 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, maybe not as much. I think there seems to be more demand for those, although the prices are quite a bit higher. Anybody have condominiums sitting there not doing anything?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, I just did whole
Alex, how's yours
restaging,
going?
restaging new photos. Same, yeah. The condos, if it's not perfect, it's a struggle. You need to have perfect view, good floors, good lighting, and it's got to be priced the lowest in that category in the area.
Bank of Canada left its rates the same, 2.75%, so that's not going anywhere. Although I'm reading now that because the economy maybe isn't doing as well as they hoped they would, both the USA and Canada, that they are expecting decreases sometime this year. Is that what you're saying too? And the next announcement, I didn't check, the next announcement is September?
17.
September. And if they did something, quarter point, if they did anything, right? So that sort of seems just to give it a little push along, right? That's what they're trying to do. CPI came in at a little bit up. And that's what's going on in the States too. The States, I think their CPI, the cost of living, I think they said it was 2.7 last month in the States, and they're trying to get it to 2%, same as Canada. So that's why down in the States they're saying that they're not reducing the rates because the economy's not doing what they wanted to do, but the politicians want it to go down regardless, so they're having the fights with that. I haven't heard our politicians talk like that, so we'll just see what's going on. As far as the first 10 days in August goes, around 30,000 again, 30,400 listings, 17,000 freeholds, 12,000 condos. Vacancy still around, condo vacancies are 42% of all condominiums for sale are vacant. That's a big number, right? And only 27% of freeholds are vacant. Sales themselves are actually down 2% overall from July 10th last year. August 10th last year, August 10th this year, down about 2%. So we're about the same as last August. Daily comes in about 141. If I projected the sales based on today, then the sales is going to come in around 4,300 rather than 5,100. So it is a bit slower for the first week. Projected months of inventory for this month, again, it's 8.5 for condominiums and 6.2 for freeholds. That's just based on the first 10 days. So if you got somebody thinking that, I want to hold, I don't want to reduce my price yet because we had a showing this weekend, or we've had a couple of showings, let's reduce the price later on. Just do it anyways because it's nothing's happened. Anybody, I've heard that many times, right?
Let's wait till the next showing.
Somebody wants to do a price reduction, but they want to hold on till Monday because they got 2 showings on the weekend.
Yeah, no, I'd say get ahead of it and do it before the showings get in the door.
Yeah, whatever it is. Unfortunately, compared to August 10th, compared to July 10th, sales are down 27%. So it seems slower this month than last month. It's down 27%. You're seeing that too, right? I said before, if you're going to be, it's summer market. If you're going to be on vacation, go on vacation. If you're going to work, but don't do both.
Don't do both. What do you mean? You can't go on vacation and work?
Don't come to work and go on vacation.
Okay, fair. You can go on vacation and work a little bit, though, couldn't you?
You could do that. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Leases, 17,000 active leases, 8,000 are freehold, 9,000 are condos. 51% of the properties that are listed for lease are vacant. Leases themselves are actually up 8% from last year, and they're down 18% from July 10th to August 10th. So it's a typical market, it's what we expect. Properties are selling, but they're being priced right. All right, that's your issue. Does anybody else have issues here right now? Sellers not selling, giving you a hard time? Nobody here? No? Okay.
No, that's not true. We're still seeing the hindsight for, the first offer, the first call you get is typically the best offer. We're going through it right now, or we might have to take a lower offer now too. So that's a true thing. So make sure you're talking to your sellers about that. Whoever's that first call, that most excited person, most likely is going to be your strongest offer. Doesn't mean that they're going to be the best price. You may have to work with them a little bit, but most likely they've been searching around for your particular house and it came on the market and they're going to call you first. So make sure you give them some special attention because likely you're going to need them to bring you the best offer. Yeah, we're still seeing it happen today.
Good. This fellow here is saying here why rising sales don't mean Toronto real estate is back. So even though the sales are up 10%, it doesn't mean the market's back.
It's just 1 month, right?
It's just
Yeah.
1 month, and we're comparing a slow month last year, to another slow month this year, but it's 10% less slow.
Yeah, like I don't know if we talked, like year to date, we're still down from last year, right? Overall for total number of sales. So.
I think it's about 18% or so, something like that, right? Yeah, so this guy here saying here that real estate sales don't mean that Toronto real estate's back. 10.9% increase. Prices are still down. Inventory is piling up, and homes are taking longer to sell.
Yeah, no, he makes a good reference though. Like if you look at the total active residential listings, they're up 26%. Versus new listings last month alone are only 5%, which tells us that our inventory right now is a bunch of old inventory that hasn't sold. It's not a lot of new inventory that's coming, right? So that's a problem. We have a lot of listings that are sitting for longer than they should be to sell.
That's right. You reading the same article now?
It's the same, yeah, I'm just yeah.
Okay, all right. So people are chasing the market. Sorry, people are not chasing the market. They're entering the market because it's finally come back to them. These are the buyers. So the buyers were here all the time. They could afford this, and the prices were here. But now the prices are coming down here, so the market's coming down to see the buyers. So which hopefully we're going to have that. So that's good. Affordability, it's gone down a little bit, but rates really haven't meaningfully dropped, and mortgage qualifications still tight. Yeah, it's just what Kari said here. The jump in active inventory is coming from. It's not from new supply. It's old supply that's sitting longer, or it's old supply that's been canceled, relisted.
And you have to be careful, like he's saying too, with the word affordability. Like we saw Treb come out with a statement saying it's slightly more affordable, but it's still very expensive. Our prices are still close to 2021 pricing. So we're not affordable. You have to use that word very carefully, right?
He's also suggesting that there's no urgency, so that when rates were low, prices were climbing, but prices aren't climbing, so there's no urgency going on there. So sometimes you have a listing there, you have to create an urgency by what?
Offer dates, lower
right?
pricing.
Lower price, strategic pricing, offer dates, things like that. Yeah, and for the buyers, unfortunately, by them waiting, they're getting rewarded because prices are dropping.
Yeah, more options are coming. Something else comes on the market.
So they wait and say, gee, I wish how many times, gee, I wish I had bought last month instead of this month. You're not hearing that, right?
No.
So,
No, back in the day, they're saying you go see a house and you go run to your car and you put in the offer. Like there was no time to even think about it or do it. And the cost of you waiting even an hour was going to cost you that particular house. Now you can wait because prices will come down or they'll come back to you for a lower price or more is going to come available. So.
And then there's talk with new builders in this article here. They're talking about foreign buyers. There's a foreign buyer ban federally for I think it goes to 2027 now, and provincially there's a surtax for foreign buyers when they buy Ontario property. I want to guess 25%. Right? Was that right?
Yep.
So those things are still there, even though but the foreign buyers are gone. So the Ontario stuff doesn't take effect. What do you guys think about them releasing that? Do you think they should get rid of the foreign buyer ban and let foreign buyers come in?
Yes.
Do you think our market's driven by foreign buyers?
I
Though?
think it's like 5%, but I think it's just the optics of it.
Optics, yeah, I could like the PR of it maybe. But I don't think our market's actually driven by foreign buyers. I think the pre-construction market
Rental.
might be, maybe the rental
Rental
market,
market.
but I'm not convinced that our market's solely driven by just foreign buyers. I think it's a really small percentage.
I think pre-construction was.
Pre-construction, I will agree that probably the majority of pre-construction was maybe foreign investment, and they're the ones that are asking for it as well. Yeah, but I don't personally like. We didn't deal with a lot of foreign buyers in our client base, so it's not. But yeah.
And then last thing on stats for, I don't know, take a guess. In the last 4 years, what's this here? Toronto area condo prices hit their lowest level in more than 4 years, while overall real estate saw its best in July. So the condo prices dipped, even though the units went up.
Yeah, but that makes sense because units are going up because prices are a little bit down, right? In this particular case, they're taking one particular example and they're kind of blowing it out a little bit.
I'm just trying to, the headline, I'll read you the headline.
I know,
I'm trying to find the fact. It says the Toronto area average condo price falls to $651,000. Okay, the lowest in 40. Okay, it says 2, not 5. I was looking for a buy, so falls 2. So the average price 651.
Yeah, so it's a good example though. Like what they'll do is they'll take a property that's sold for significantly under asking, and they're trying to make a headline about it. But it's one particular example. We have no idea the history of this condo or what it was leveraged about. Like we don't know the thing, but they've written an entire article about one particular sale that happened in the city, right? So you've got to be very careful when you're reading the headlines.
And these guys here went to, I don't know what you're talking about, I don't know who wrote this. Some guy, a clerk, anyway. This person here went to the point where they went to the highest price in mid-2022 and compared it to 2025 prices for condominiums. Just to come up with a comparison, just to see what's going on. And we knew what happened. This is like a history book. But if you bought a condominium in Halton Hills, average condominium in Halton Hills, wherever that is that Oakville?
It's west, yeah.
Average price of condominiums from 2022 in Halton Hills have dropped 50%. So that one guy that sold his one condo.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But if you take Brampton, the condo prices in Brampton have dropped over 20%. Mississauga over 20%. Vaughan, a little slightly less than 20%. Markham slightly less than 15%. So the closer it was to 416, the better their prices. The farther out, the prices are going down. Which we knew that we've known that always. We've always been the case. We've always had Yonge Street as being like the center of the universe, and everything from there goes down. Right? That's we've seen that over the years.
That's true. I like this one. You guys can tell us if you agree or not. There's agents that are calling this the summer of lowballing. Are you guys seeing that on your listings? Are you on the buyer side? I'm getting some nods because we're on the buyer side of the lowballing, right? And why not? Right? I like these examples though. You know, you give your client an offer at $100,000 under asking, and they say, "Pretend like it never happened. I don't want to see it." That's not a real offer, right? They're offended. They're offended. They pretend like it doesn't exist. I'm not looking at anything, and they don't want to sign back. They don't want to counter. They like want to pretend like it never happened. And then 2 weeks later, they're going to go back to the
Can you call that buyer back?
So about that offer that we got, can we bring back to the table? But yeah, buyers are wanting steep discounts. They're going to attempt to haggle even when the houses are beautifully renovated and a great location. So you have to be careful because the houses that are nicely done, are updated in a good location, they're still going to sell for, you know, a decent price and maybe a little bit above market value. So you've got to be careful when talking to buyers that want to lowball everything, because not everything is going to go under asking. But where the opportunity is things that need renovations, things that need work, maybe things that are not perfectly situated. Those are the types of things that buyers are sort of looking at right now, and they're winning in those cases, right? And we know some examples here from Sanic where he's, you know, low bid quite a lot, but it's worked out in some cases too, right? So then it comes back to seller motivation and why are they selling and things like that. But are you guys seeing that with your offers, or what do you tell clients that really want to lowball? Are you just taking their direction and going for it, or how do you have that conversation with them? I know Santa
On the buy side?
On the buy side. They say, I want to give $200K under asking on any particular house. Do we educate them? Do we show them prices, or we just take their order and do the offer?
That's what Gradual just said. This is our max.
And you're still in play, right? Yeah, it's true. Well, people are doing it. You still have to show them some comparables as well. But yeah, there are a lot of budget-conscious house hunters looking for deals, and they're going to find them in fixer-uppers, not well-located properties as well. But it is quite interesting to see what people are offering. There is some studies that are showing that 76% of homes are selling under asking. Right, so that's probably a lot of those are holding offers as well, and they're quite under market value already. But they're saying underbidding is at its highest that it ever has been in 18 months, which makes sense. I see that too in the offers that we're reviewing as well.
So I was talking to Asian last week. I'm not sure if it worked or not, but last week before. But their property was sitting there, it's priced at market value, sitting there not doing anything. No offer dates, like the offers any time. So you talked about a sense of urgency. So how do you create urgency in a case like that? How would you, like, probably sitting there, just, like, price seems to be right, but it's just sitting there doing nothing, right? So the suggestion I have, and I don't know if it worked or not, but we're just trying to think, like, we have to do something. Sorry, seller. How many times do you tell the seller the market's slow, right?
Yeah.
So we thought, well, okay, let's just leave the price the same, adjust it maybe 5,000, 10, but leave the price pretty much the same, put an offer date on it.
Interesting.
Just, I don't know, just try to create
Just
some
try it?
urgency, to create.
As like a new, brand new
Yeah,
listing
create like
though?
a start line, like have something on there that says something. Try to generate some urgency somehow.
Yeah, like give them like a date.
This is any
Anything.
property. This is a house I'm talking about right now, but the house is sitting there. It looks like it's the right price. It looks okay, but it's just nothing's happening, and nobody seems to be, getting a showing, 2 or 3 showings a week, but nothing really strong, right? So I
Yeah.
thought, well, let's put an offer date on there and try to create the urgency, right?
So we don't know the results yet though?
I want to say the thing sold in 2 days, but
I know, I wish. I don't think buyers care. I think you put a date in there and they're gonna like, nice try, see you on Friday. Like, I don't know if they really care. I tried something a couple weeks ago. I'm not gonna say it worked or didn't work, but we suspended it before we had a bunch of showings. And I was trying to create a bit of FOMO, like just put a little pause. We had upcoming showings. The purpose was we did clean it and kind of restage it, so part of that was prepping it for that. But I wanted to see if my phone would ring after I suspended it, and it did. I got 2 calls saying, what are you doing, or is it off the market? Can we still go see it? And I try to make it like an exclusive thing, like we're prepping it for a new price. Yes, I'll get you a showing in, no problem, I'll get you in. It hasn't sold yet, right? But it did create the phone to ring. It did cause them to pay attention a little bit. We did restage it. We're gonna try that strategy, but you're right, we have to push little buttons within the boundaries that we can to try to stir things up, right?
so I have to go from memory on this one here. So Rico, if you look, Rico, probably with the Toronto Star I read it on. The seller, okay, this is, I'm
the bidding
going to
one?
make up the story, so.
Is this bidding? Lying about bids?
Seller
or-
got sued by the
Yeah,
buyer
here.
because the seller, Ontario seller, found liable for misleading buyers about competing offers. The seller, not the selling agent, the seller. So what the seller told the buyer is that, oh, you're competing, and you got to increase your offer, and we've got this and we got that, and the seller just sort of the buyer sort of got caught up to the whole thing. So and the buyer's dealing with the seller. And the seller's telling the buyer he's got multiple offers. No, telling this buyer's agent, I got multiple offers. Blah blah blah. You better come quick. You better do it. You got 11 o'clock. All these things. There's all these stories, right? Telling the buyer's agent. So then the buyer's agent finally increases the price to the point where he gets it. And then he finds out there was no other offers. Right?
And the seller representing themselves? No agent?
I'll just put a little disclaimer. I don't actually know why the seller was directly
Yeah.
communicating. They had a group chat, is what I understand. Maybe it was like a WhatsApp. I don't want to speculate,
I'm
but
going to make it up.
yeah, that's the part that is confusing. But
So here's
yeah.
the makeup thing. You're dealing with a mere posting, and it
Okay,
says
sure.
contact
Yes,
the
good.
seller,
That actually makes more sense. Yes.
and the seller's a lying.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah.
And the seller, sorry, so not a lie. So the liar, the
Allegedly.
seller misrepresented. Had it been a realtor that was doing the misrepresentation, we'd be in real
lot of
estate
trouble.
RICO court, right? But it's a seller doing this. So the buyer sued him in real court, and the buyer won. And the seller had to reimburse him whatever
Yeah.
the last offer was.
It was on the grounds that they had made an improved offer based on the fact that they had said there's 2 other offers. They made other comments like, I have another offer expiring at 11 that we're going to accept if you don't give us another. So there's tons of, in text, in writing, words suggesting that there was more offers, and
They
they
must
won
have signed
based on
a
the fact
form to disclose the contents of it, though.
after the deal was closed.
But the issue I have, I guess, is like, why are we doing mirror postings? Why are we dealing with the consumer directly? We should, I don't understand that part.
Yeah.
Even if you're charging $1, you get paid $1, you should do your work.
Yeah, the seller tried to say that him saying there was 2 other offers didn't necessarily mean that they were registered, but the court disagreed and said as soon as you make reference to any sort of
As soon
offer,
as you say the word offer, that means it has to be registered.
Yeah.
so the offer has to be registered.
Seller's doing it. Yeah, seller
Thought
has
was being smart.
The seller has no consequences. Why would they?
right.
Why would they not do it?
But they do have consequences in court. So.
Of course.
Yeah.
To save on the commission, right?
Yeah.
And he's doing all the work, the seller's doing all the work,
Yeah.
so he's doing all the work.
Yeah, and he knows what to do, and he knows how to say, and blah blah blah. But you're dealing with the consumer again. This is what happens.
He's well coached.
Yeah,
Do you
interesting.
think he was coached? I don't know. I think a lot of these for sale by owners guys, they know more than we know anyway. So according to them, right? Anyway, so let's.
But the court though, they should have fined the guy more than what the guy paid for it. Seller is not a licensed.
Seller's not licensed, so they went to real court.
He can lie
That's
on-
why they went to
No, they
court.
can't. No, they can't. They
This
went-
is court.
They went to court and the seller lost.
Not Rico court.
Not Rico, not Treb, this is
Rico
court.
not Treb court, like civil court.
And not small claims court either, like civil court. It was more than 25 grand.
They handled us out and like along with lawyers.
I think,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, if you win, you pay for lawyers and whatnot, so that's interesting, so, yeah. I mean, we get in so much trouble as realtors and the public just gets, they just string us along,
So on that note, though, an interesting perspective from Rem Magazine, they're talking about realtors' jobs now and how it's changed so much through history, right? So back in the day, even to see a listing, your client would have to come into the office and you would have like a database here and you would show it to them, but you wouldn't give them the copy of it. This is like your secret thing, right? So that's changed, obviously, because now they can go online and they can see every listing. Even things like there didn't used to be professional photography or marketing. Like you would have your little catalog of listing, you would go see it, and that would be your marketing when you physically went to go see the house.
Little
So that's all
digital
changed.
camera.
So all these things have changed, right? There was no FinTrack compliance requirements. There were the documents, if anything, were maybe 2-3 pages total long, not like 100 pages like we have
One
now.
of our agents was telling me about that this week.
So everything's changed, right? And then our regulatory environment has far become more robust now. Consumer protection, by the way, of anti-money laundering requirements, privacy legislation, licensing, regulatory, board and association, all these things that we deal with now. But now if we look at it in a different way, we could look at it as if our regulation and compliance is almost your value proposition now to your consumer. So if you've got somebody that's thinking about selling the house themselves, yes, I can market it myself and I know my pricing, I can do all this, but as agents, we do have crazy regulatory compliance that could be a value proposition now to your clients. That could be something that if you spent the time to really learn and dig into TRESA and know all the rules, these are things that might actually set you apart now from someone trying to sell the house themselves or from a part-time agent or somebody that's not really fully ingrained in it. So maybe we take this compliance and make it a little bit more of something that we can add to the client because truthfully it is changing a lot, especially this. So maybe there's a way we can kind of spin it a little bit more positively and really embrace it and show that this is a value that we have to offer you now. We're well trained, we're professional, we know all the regulations, we know all the laws, we know all the rules, and we're gonna help you close this deal and get it done smoothly as opposed to going with this guy who's getting sued for selling it, in multiple offers. So it's an interesting way to kind of spin it because it can seem kind of stressful to have to deal with all these new rules and stuff, but maybe it's now what we're offering to the consumer, knowing that everything else is a little bit easier now. So it's an interesting perspective, I think, a little bit different.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Katelyn, do you have stuff you want to piggyback on?
You're gonna do the training, right?
Yeah.
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 Let me
You
do a couple more
can-
things.
yeah.
Okay,
You've
So,
got
all
some-
right, so the federal government's got something going on right now trying to help builders. Builders, as we know, their sales are down, 60-70% if you read all the articles. Their sales are being decimated, right?
Yeah.
I drive around Seaton. Everybody knows Seaton out there, and probably a place in Vaughan and other places too. But Seaton, drive around White's Road between
Altona?
between
Taunton.
Highway 7 and Taunton
Yeah.
North. And you see all this construction ready to go, and you don't see anybody building anything. So it's completely quiet. So the federal government knows this too, and they're trying to help. So what they're going to do is they're going to announce a full rebate for first-time buyers of the GST portion of new homes, not the HST. Follow me? HST in Ontario. Sorry, the Ontario GST is what, 5%? The federal's 8%. So they're talking about 8% forgiveness, 100% for first-time buyers buying a new home for under $1 million. Okay, this is Canada. It's not. It's all across Canada. If it was houses between $1 million and $1.5 million, there'll be a partial rebate, about 50% rebate, maximum of $25,000, and anything over $1.5 million, no rebate at all. First-time buyers have to qualify, same as the first-time buyers now for HST rebate. They can't have owned a home for the last 5 years. They'll get that rebate back, right? And it's only newly built homes for first-time buyers. If one of the occupants, husband and wife, is one of them is a first-time buyer, they qualify. So if one's not a first-time buyer but they're together, then they still qualify under this thing. So that's coming down, and that would be shortly. I'm not sure if it's passed or not. Is the government in-house or they're on vacation still? Anybody know? I think they're on vacation, right? The Parliament?
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah, so they still have to run through and get a vote on. But anyway, that's what they're trying to do. There's also talk about people trying to get rid of the stress test. Have you heard anything about that? I mean, there's just looking around here. There's people talking about suggesting get rid of the stress test or adjust the stress test to coincide with income, which I think is a bad idea.
I don't think the whole reason we did the stress test is for moments like how we are today, to make sure we could afford good times and bad times, right? I don't think that's the
Well, they're
solution.
trying to make it easier. So they're trying to make it like,
I know,
forget the
but-
number, 4 or 5 times your gross salary to qualify or something. They're trying to change it. That'll make it worse.
That's even worse.
That'll make it worse. Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah.
And then it's going back to rents. So the purpose-built rental. So the rental buildings, the entire apartment buildings being rented out by either REITs or by the government or else. They're now having a hard time also getting tenants. So they're doing a lot of incentives. So they're offering like 2 months free, 1 month free internet, free blah, blah, blah. So they're really doing incentives.
Yeah.
So if you've got a seller out there that's trying to lease their own place there, understand what the competition's doing. The competition's offering all these incentives and that, so they might have to look at something they're doing as well. And I'm starting to get people now, I guess Nelson too, probably to you guys, where the existing tenants want to renegotiate their lease with the landlord
To reduce it?
Yeah.
to reduce it.
Yeah. We're
Anybody-
saying yeah.
Anybody come across that yet?
Yeah, we did.
Doing like 5 of us.
Yeah.
Alright. So I'm curious. So what do you do? Do you
We reduced it.
We're just, yeah, no
Really?
problem.
Yeah, we actually did. They agreed to do an N11 and a new lease too at the new price. So we had some security for another year lease for the landlords.
So that's the seller's call or the owner's
It is.
call.
Yeah.
I've seen
What would
rents
you do
drop.
as the agent yourself? If you're renting a place for $2,700 and the tenant says, "Well, I want to pay you $2,500," what would you do as an agent owner?
They're a good time.
No problem.
It's cheaper to just keep them.
Better keep them.
Yeah. Do you not think it's a false claim? Don't you think for $100, $200 a month they're going to pack up and change all their driver's license and change their insurance? It's a bit of a gamble, isn't it?
I'm not willing to.
This is at least after a year?
Yeah, after
After a year.
when your first contract's over, yeah, you're on month to month now, right?
As a tenant myself, I probably again pack up.
As a tenant, you pack up and leave like that. So okay, so I'm just curious how many people want to do that because what a hassle it would be, right?
Actually, I got a call this, it's a personal, somebody I know personally, same thing. She said, my lease is up, and the landlord sort of jumped at it and said, no rent increase for you,
Oh,
right? So her year is up and there was no rent increase for her. And she said, but I'm gonna try to renegotiate, the same thing, like you said. She says, if they don't give me anything, I can't be bothered moving for
that's what I'm getting at.
Some people will.
I think some people would. Yeah.
Some people would, but very small.
So,
Yeah.
just because they want to do it, I mean, humans, you think about yourself. You want to call it the hassle, like for $100 a month or $50 a month, you're going to change your
What if this
everything
is
for
a
what?
cheaper unit right in your building? I would
You're
do
still changing stuff now.
Yeah, I think people would do it. People are short-sighted. They want their money.
Yeah, you got to move. You got to
$1,500.
If it's in the same building, though,
Even in the same
widening
building.
everything over.
same building. You think that little old lady's going to carry your couch?
We're not
down
talking
there
little
down the
ladies. We're
elevator?
talking like 25-year-old savvy kids who have no problem shoving things in a box and moving on.
My point is this: that just because they're asking for it,
Yeah, I think it depends on the situation.
Think about it.
Yeah, it depends on the tenant. Depends on our particular clients were very risk averse, very conservative. Just had a baby, didn't want to deal with any fuss. They said no problem. I think it depends on a lot of variables.
And here's some good news for landlords: that the governments, major banks, large companies, governments are mandating that people go back to the office 4 days a week. So those agents that or those people that decide they'll sell everything here and move up to Muskoka and work from home, all of a sudden the boss says, no, you're not working from home anymore. You're coming back. So they're going to have to rent something.
Maybe. I don't know if that's a great
Right?
thing.
They're going to have to rent something. So there may be an opportunity there that maybe we've created some new tenants there. So
But a lot of people are quitting their jobs too.
If they get told to go out,
I think people are not gonna rent or go back. I think they're gonna find new jobs or just go
they'll
on
find
EI.
a virtual job.
You'd be surprised how much people do not want to go into an office
Like
right
someone I
now.
know, they work at TD, they just hand in, like, there's a like
Yeah.
Deck, and they handed it.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm hearing the savvy corporate companies are still doing flex work weeks, 2 to 3 days on a flexible thing. They're not mandating anything. That language is not going to fly anymore. Yeah.
I don't know how true this is, but I've heard that they do have options for virtual or in office, but the ones who do virtual, it's like a 20% pay cut.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, saying pay cuts if you're going to do virtual remote. Yeah. Yeah. I think people will still do that.
No, for sure.
They will take the pay cut.
I'm just like, it's more, like, there's an option there.
Yeah.
Come in and.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. I still think the biggest opportunity for your tenants are those that are going to buy in the next year. I really think that maybe after a year of renting, year 2, 3, they're going to start buying. And I know for sure they do. So I think your biggest lesson right now in this renter's nation is to keep very close with your tenants. Even solve little problems for them. If they have a light bulb that goes out or something weird, like be that person on the other side helping them. Don't let them go to the landlord because you want to be close to them because they will buy. It's going to happen. We see it in our own clients as well. So I think that's your biggest lesson for all your renters because we know you're doing a ton of leases. You did a ton in August. I know you're going to do a lot more this year, but that's your biggest lesson is keep
Especially you're
them
well
close.
qualified. Not
Yeah.
like you're like low qualified tenants,
Especially
but
the
you're
ones that
really
are on
good
the cusp.
ones.
Like even today they could buy. They're not ready. They want a little more time. Like they're going to do something very quickly. So stay very close with them. Because I don't want them to think that you're a renter's agent, that you don't do the sell or the buy side either, right? You got to show them that you do everything.
And finally, for me, just something like GDP. Everybody know what that is? Gross domestic product, right? And what that does is every country it's measured by how much they produce. So in other words, in Canada, we produce oil, right? We sell oil, so that's money coming into Canada from to benefit everybody, right? So it's GPT and everything else we export and blah blah blah. I didn't realize this, but oil, for instance, represents 10% of the GDP of Canada. That's 10%, right? Of the thing that's representing that. I didn't know this, and it doesn't mean anything other than everybody wants to think about this for the eggheads of us. The government considers owner-occupied homes as potential rental properties. Therefore, they add a rent to every single one of the homes that you own, and add that to the GPT, which represents 12% of the gross domestic product for Canada.
Rent from owner-occupied
So
homes.
Canada will say they generate $40 billion a year from oil, and that represents 10% of the GDP. But it also brings in $50 million of air quotes, rent from properties. In other words, if I were to rent my property, it has potential renting out for, let's say, $3,000 a month. So the government says, okay, $3,000 a month, they're going to add that to GPT. It's a calculation. It's not. It's just strictly a calculation that the bean counters use for all this stuff. So it just tells me how you can manipulate. You can manipulate almost anything here. It's just amazing how. So they come with all this interest rates and GPT and cost of living and 2%. It's all just some bean counter there at Stats Canada just doing numbers and making things up, man. It's just unbelievable. So anybody's interested in that, so you can go to Better Dwelling there and talk about Canada GPT growth. Fictional rent fuels over $1 of 10 more than oil.
Well, yeah, because tons of Canadians own
So there
their
we go.
property that they live in. It's like the Canadian dream. Interesting. Before we switch to Katelyn, your RICO insurance is due August 22nd. If you haven't, I know a lot of you haven't done it already.
See everyone smiling.
There's 358
How much was it?
358 people haven't paid it.
400
400?
something,
It's
yeah.
500.
500. This is your annual RICO insurance. So it's different than your TREB, ORIA, CREA. That's in December, end of the year. This is mandatory for every single agent.
And this is insurance that you want to pay for.
Yeah, it's like
It's probably the most cost effective thing for everybody.
yep.
And you can't trade without it. So.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. Some of you guys may have received this in your email last
hold it.
week. Did any of you guys see this? I put in WhatsApp and I think Facebook. We started to notice a lot of agents, both new and experienced, kept asking us how to read the market. Even though we talk about it every week with Claire, that is reading the market. I don't know how much, it's not exciting. It's very boring. It's just numbers. So what we did, we usually send you guys out the monthly stats that you could put on your social media and all of that stuff. But what we went ahead and did is made it a one-page profile that you guys can now just print and bring to your listing appointments with you. So if you guys are in a rush, you don't have time to look at the market stats, you don't really know what's going on in the market because you haven't been listening to the Monday meetings, or you just don't read it, you can just check your email once a month now. It'll be in there. It'll say, bring this to your next listing appointment. I know a couple of our agents did use it last week. They printed it. Some of them put their own faces on it too. You guys can do whatever you want with it. I did put an editable link in the email for those of you guys that do have Canva and all of that. But it really just breaks down the stats in numbers, what it means for sellers, what it means for buyers. So if you're sitting at the kitchen table, you can read it, or you can just leave it with the client. So at least now you're not fumbling on what to talk about at your listing appointment. So we're hoping this helps. Has anyone used it yet here?
Can you read a little bit? What does it mean for buyers and sellers? Is this legit for July or?
Yeah, so it just goes based off July stats, obviously, so it's not going to be up to date, and it's only GTA, so it's not going to tell you about the market per neighborhood. Claire has the Market Watch there, but I even put the link to Toronto Market Watch, so if you're looking for a specific neighborhood, maybe it's Durham region, whatever it is, you can go into Market Watch and print up those stats, but this is just for ease. But I wrote just like what this means for sellers. We talked about how it was the strongest July in 4 years. The market conditions are tightening, creating more competition. Pricing is still key. Homes are taking longer to sell. So these are just key points that you can talk to with your sellers. It even says now is the time to list before even more inventory hits the market in the fall. So you can explain to them why waiting for the fall may not go. For buyers, it talks about how prices have come down across all types of homes. Borrowing costs are creating more affordability. There's a bunch of stuff. This could be your best chance to buy before prices start to increase again. So just some facts for you guys. So if you don't have time to do some research, it's just really dumb. It's like the Coles Notes of what's going on in the market. So I think that should help, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when into your emails, it says, bring this to your next listing appointment. It's in announcements, I think. I know it can get confusing and some people don't read the announcement emails, but that was what we sent out last week. So I'll send that out every month probably so that you guys have something to bring with you guys. We are working on a new listing presentation. Funny enough, we got bored of the PowerPoint one and we saw a couple of the old school ones that were going around. Carly and I tried it at our last appointment and we actually liked it better. It was like 4 pages like this. It was very dumbed down. I don't have it in front of me, but we're going to be doing like 4-page presentations, and I'll actually email you guys the listing presentation every single month that will have exactly what you need to do. So if you haven't been creating a presentation, hopefully that will help you guys. I'll just do one article because we already talked about pricing. I just read an article with, do you guys read Broke Agent Media? This is where I get a lot of my news articles from. I don't know. I like to read them because they talk a lot about marketing and stuff. But they were saying 75% of buyers say their agent was helpful, and here's what made it memorable. And then they had a quote at the beginning saying, we've all experienced this, but a buyer who slows down is rarely indecisive. They're paying attention, and the job of the professional is to understand what that pause is trying to say. So have you guys ever had a buyer just kind of disappear for a bit? Like they're hot and active, and then all of a sudden they just like disappear? And then you reconnect with them a little bit and they're like, oh yeah, like I lost my job or I got a divorce or like something happens typically when they do ghost you and it's usually it's not anything to do with you, but a lot of us just take that as they ghosted and they're not interested and then we just never follow up with them altogether. But they're saying to get remembered by your buyers, most buyers aren't walking away from a home purchase remembering your pre-approval timelines or the market absorption rates. What sticks to them the most is the moment that you showed up when the process got quiet. So what they remembered wasn't the pitch, it was the presence. And what mattered the most to these 75% of buyers is they want you guys to be better at telling them what the next steps are. So if you guys ever like got an offer in or they saw a house and they're like, hey, what are the next steps? Or they got an accepted offer and like we know the next steps are like deliver the deposit, book a home inspection, send this to your mortgage broker. Maybe you don't know those next steps, but your buyers do not know the next steps. And a lot of buyers, agents just kind of pretend that they do. So a lot of the buyers say that what mattered the most to them was a clear, short reminder about those next steps, a plain language explanation of the legal or financial documents, check-in time around an offer, appraisal, or moment of doubt, And just heads up about closing costs or insurance before they became surprises. I'd say that's a big one, is the closing costs for sure. I know that's where like the mortgage team will come in and us, but I think it's important when you guys are doing your consultations to be upfront with them when they're like, oh yeah, I've got like a $40,000 deposit. And you're like, okay, great, but do you have the closing costs? Because last thing you want is all these surprises to come at. So they talk about how they're very dissatisfied when the agents aren't being open about what those next steps are or how much money they actually need. And then the buyers that received this kind of guidance reported significantly higher confidence and satisfaction. Apparently only 7% described the entire process as straightforward. So that means an overwhelmingly amount of buyers moved through this financial decision of their lives without feeling certain at any stage. Some of the things that broke trust is unreturned phone calls, missed expectations on the costs, inconsistent timelines. So hopefully, like, I know we do the systems for success with you guys every year, and what I do in like the buyer and seller steps in particular is I talk about every single step that you guys should be aware of, and it's not only for you, but it's for you to be able to communicate that with your clients so that the process feels a lot better for them. Some of the signals you may be missing. So if a buyer goes quiet after receiving a document, a question is asked twice in slightly different ways. There's a long gap between email opens and responses. These are signs of disengagement and they're signals of doubt. So they're waiting for someone to meet them where they're at and not push them forward, but ask them like, what's on your mind? So these are your moments to kind of shine with your buyers. So in summary, I guess, is taking your time to respond to the emotion, not just the event. So we should do check-ins to make sure, like, how's your stress level? How are you doing? How's the mortgage? Like, the mortgage is probably the most stressful part of the entire process for any buyer. And I think they panic. They probably call you guys too, but they'll call us being like, Varan asked me for these documents, and they freak out. And all we have to do is be like, yep, that's just part of the normal process. But we have to remind them, like, these are normal things. Mm-hmm. Watch for hesitation, not just ghosting. And then make your timing your edge. So your value isn't just showing up, it's in knowing when to show up. So I think that hopefully that helps a little bit.
So when you guys do listing presentations, I'm just curious,
Yeah.
you guys do like a timeline of all the things that are gonna happen?
Mm-hmm.
Like Monday, we're gonna do this, Tuesday, we're gonna do that, Wednesday, we're gonna do this, and
Yeah.
blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. So when it comes to buyers, do you do the same thing, or?
No, I
Buyers,
do better.
it's not as good, to be honest. That's why, like, sellers, it is a little bit easier because you can set timelines, but with buyers, it is a little trickier because it's just like, okay, next step is pre-approval, next step show a house, and then it's kind of up in the air.
You would do a timeline though after they made
After
that
they buy it.
purchase and what the next
Well,
steps are
well,
for that
what I'm getting here
process.
is like, wouldn't be the first time when the buyer's deposit money's in a virtual bank, or it's in a GIC or an RSP that can't be accessed right away. And so part of this checklist would have been, oh, by the way, and we need a deposit when we do the check, it's $20,000, you have that cash ready to go.
Yeah, so we talking about that at your consultations is saying, okay, we'll talk about the process at the consultation, hopefully, and we'll say within 24 hours you have to deliver a deposit around 5%. Do you have $50,000 in cash ready? They're like, nope, I've got it in investments. You're like, great. If we're buying in the next couple of months, you might want to get that out now so that we don't have to worry about it. And we see it every time. You make that mistake usually once, I think, with a client, and then you don't do it again. Mm-hmm. I think we've all made the mistake once, probably, right? Yeah.
And what else?
Closing costs is a huge one. Land transfer
Closing
taxes.
costs. We're still having issues with rented HVAC. Right?
Yeah.
And what's happening here? I'm just making up stories again. Didn't really happen, but it could. You put on your listing, HVAC is rented and the furnace is rented, and the hot water tank's rented. Agent buys the offer. He doesn't cut and paste. He says, hot water tank rental. Doesn't talk about the HVAC. Doesn't talk about that. You as a listing agent accept the offer. Guess what happened?
You just bought a
You
furnace.
just bought an HVAC and an air conditioner because you didn't. Even though you put it on your listing, the buyer's agent didn't put it in their offer. And the reason why the buyer's agent didn't put it in the offer is the same thing. You're offering $1 million. The buyer's offering you $900,000. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even though you said that the HVAC and the furnace are rented, the buyer doesn't want those. He wants you to buy those. He wants those as fixtures.
Yeah.
So you might be thinking that the buyer's agent's your friend and he's just taking the information from your listing and putting it on the offer. It's not. So you got to be very careful and read that stuff. Make sure you're up to speed. That's happened a couple times.
We've seen at the opposite end too, where the buyer's agent, their clients end up taking over a rental item and they don't even realize the repercussions of that for their own buyers too. Where they're like, you're taking on a rental, but if you go to sell again, you're gonna have to buy it out at some point. So some buyer's agents don't even try to get out of the rental for their own buyer clients, and they go just based off the seller too. But
So take the extra minute or two, just read the offers through. We used to have an agent here, Marilyn Bobby. I'm looking at a couple of guys, remember that name, Marilyn Bobby? Remember her? And people used to give her a hard time because what she would do, she would read the offer. That was the way she'd do the presentation to her sellers. She'd read the offer, even the fine print, right from line by line by line by line, line by line by line by line, every single line. Even the fine print itself she read. You still do that, man? Looking at the old guys. Right? Okay, so. Right? Yeah.
Alex, what were you gonna say?
Clients have like rental stuff, they just tell them that they're supposed to get to buy it out.
Yeah.
At the end, like, it's not worth it.
On the seller side, right? Yeah. Like we've met with sellers who, when they bought the property, they ended up taking over a rental, and their agent didn't even just like tell them what the repercussions of it were. And we're like, yeah, now that you took it over and you're the seller of it, you got to spend $8,000 to buy that out. And they're like, pardon? Like, so we have to know as the buyer's agents what these rental items mean for our buyers too.
Still mention it, hey, if you don't know, you should find out. Because sometimes they know and they're like, oh.
Yep. And we'll say no buyer wants to buy it, so you're probably going to be buying this out.
They'll ask me like, what's rented? This is all our tank, but then you'll find out down the road.
Yeah.
Everything is rented too.
Yeah. I know.
No, it used to be that you could look at your gas bill and find out what's being rented, but now they unplug that too, right? So now they're getting separate invoices for those things. They're not like
Used to be combined.
Bridgewater is not paying this anymore.
Who is it now? I forget.
Enercare.
Is it
Could be
Enercare? Yeah.
Enercare, or it could be what's the other
Reliance.
one? Reliance, Enercare. You know what I'm talking about? They used to put. So we used to tell agents, ask for the Enbridge bill and you see what's rented. You can't do that anymore because it's not on. It's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Also, in the case of condominiums, where it says AC is included, but then, the tenant or the buyer assume that, only they're responsible for hydro, that's for cooking and lighting and all that. But then they're getting charged for the AC usage.
Because sometimes it's
like electric.
It's electric.
And, it brings a confusion, to the buyer that they would assume the AC and heating was included, but then when they get the bill, it says
It's like a heat pump or something.
thermal cooling cost
Yeah.
or thermal heating cost.
Yeah.
Would you get into some
Condo townhomes, I think, have that a lot.
Okay, you said this is included, but it's not. So
Yeah.
See, well, look at the listing. The listing says is air conditioning available? Yes. Is it included? No.
That's right. It's two different things. You have to be very careful, and you can't always trust the listing. You may have to call property management.
That's where the
and
status
ask.
certificate, all that.
We're talking rentals, though.
Oh,
There is
rental,
no
yeah,
status.
no.
You have to call the building and find out. I would
So
dig.
we got sued years and years ago. Just talking about it, because we sold a condominium on Bridletown with air conditioning, and the buyer was a bit of a engineer, and he sued us because it wasn't air conditioning; it was a air pump.
Which,
And air conditioning takes humidity out of the air. Air pump just blows air through the house. So they sued us because we represented air conditioning, and it wasn't air conditioning, it was air pump. And every condominium in the city has air pumps, by the way.
yeah,
Oh, good luck. Yeah,
lots of stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, we need to be prepared for those little details for your clients.
So my point is just read the documents, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, even spelling errors. Unfortunately we've had we've given checks to sellers with the spelling error, and the spelling error came from the original offer from day one. So it just kept on going right on through.
That's true.
So things that are happening.
You
wanna keep going?
I want you to redo that home optima for the farming stuff.
Redo it.
Oh, let's summarize
Just
it.
summarize it or talk about it.
Okay, so yeah, last week on the 6th, we had Home Optima come in they did a webinar. Did any of you guys come to that? thought it was pretty good. I know Chad was messaging me throughout it too. There's this guy named Ash. I guess he used to be an agent at some point. Claire knows him from the past. Still an agent now. He started this home farming program where you'll pick a certain amount of homes. I think it's minimum 250 homes. Pick an area. They will mail out postcards for you. What was cool about these postcards for the farming that I like is that it had what we call as the lead magnet. So they'll have like the specific address on the postcard saying, find out what your house is worth kind of thing. You go to the QR code, they put their info in, and then they get a home evaluation, which is what we've always kind of taught you guys. What I noticed with people that are doing farming is they're just sending out one postcard that you guys made on Canva with your face on it that says, buy or sell real estate with me. I'm sure that's probably what 95% of people do. And then they don't get a call, so then they stop doing farming altogether. So these guys will do all the work for you. They'll send it out to you. You guys pick the neighborhood. It gives you the lead magnet. It also tracks all of the leads online on it's almost like an online leads program that you would do with like a website, like if you're doing Facebook and Google ads. And it will track all the houses that got it, the ones that opened it, the ones that went there, and then you guys can kind of run like a lead generating program through farming. So I think it's a good idea. Did you want to add on to those postcards?
So what he said, he experimented with 1,000 homes, and he sent these flyers. I'm not sure if they deliver the flyers or you do, but
I think they send them out.
But the idea was that the different idea. He had a web page, a back-end CRM that had a picture of your house, the neighborhood, and all the houses, and had little dots on it. Red dots mean you haven't contacted. Blue dots.
Oh yeah, like a do not call.
Do not call. It had a sort of a summary of everything you're doing. It would create flyers, but the flyer would be specific to that property. So they're all addressed. You'd have 250 home farm, and it would have 250 different flyers, each with the house picture on it. And it would have a lead magnet on there with a QR code saying what's my house worth, or what's your house worth, or blah blah blah. And then they'd go to the QR code, fill through information, and they'd get a free market analysis. Meanwhile, you're getting that information.
Yeah.
He said he got 20% people filled out this QR code thing.
Yeah.
That's gigantic.
That's huge.
He also said he never followed up.
That's the problem with most agents is they won't follow up with them.
So here's a techie guy. He doesn't want to do the hard work either. He just pushes buttons and wants to go on.
He knows the leads will come.
But anyway, so I've been pushing this farm stuff there. It was $1 per month per house. So if you wanted 1,000 homes, it'd be $1,000 a month. $250.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good idea. I don't know.
I liked it.
I would get like a 250 townhouse. Of course, townhouse would be all the same.
Well, he was recommending don't go after the homes that are expensive. Go after like first-time home buyer homes, like townhomes and all that. That you know that there's a little bit more of a high turnover rate. I think they'll make it exclusive to you as well if you pick an area. Like he's not going to give it to another agent or anything like that too.
That's right, exclusive areas. I don't know. It's just something. So if you're thinking about September, what's your business plan going to be? I still think that farming should be one of the pillars that you guys have. So.
This one was unique though because it almost mixed online leads with farming because most farming. I think you do farming now too, right? A lot of you guys will do farming, but no one's tracking it. Like everyone's just handing out postcards, door knocking, and then praying. This one was very much organized with all the names of the people that went to your postcards, what their names are, their address, their phone number, whatever it is. And then you can go to your dashboard and actually follow up with people. So it's kind of online and offline.
Morris Marketing does the same thing.
But Morris won't track the people that went to the leads. You just get a mail out and pray that they opened it, right?
You can put your QR code, the same idea that you telling me, you could do it with them.
And that one's more with your database though, right?
No, farming.
Is it farming too? Okay.
So I believe this system here, somehow, when they do the QR code, you know which person's asking for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's specific to their house.
But I don't know if they fill it in themselves. I'm not sure.
They have to fill it in themselves still, but it'll get their address and what their house is worth, and then you'll get a notice on your email saying this person opened your postcard. Yeah.
Anyway, so something to think about.
Home Optima was what it was. I sent out a link. It's not on our YouTube because he had so many addresses on it that YouTube flagged it and deleted the video. So now it's a private link. So if you guys want the recording, I can send you guys the link. It's in your emails somewhere, but I have it private on YouTube right now. So that was last week. This week, we've got Family Golf Day on Wednesday at Timber Creek Mini Putt.
Yes.
I always mix it up. So hopefully you guys have all RSVP'd. We're doing Mandarin lunch afterwards. We should have all the numbers by now. If you haven't, too bad, you can't come. Just kidding. But hopefully you've given us a heads up because we do have to pay per head of the golf beforehand. So if you just show up, then it kind of screws with our numbers a little bit. And then if you come for lunch, it also kind of screws us because we want to make sure we have enough chairs and all that stuff for you guys too. So make sure you tell Ginny. Last week was the deadline, but it's in 2 days now.
The weather's supposed to break on Wednesday, so
It's supposed to rain?
No, there's a heat wave.
It's supposed to cool off a little bit.
Okay, perfect, because it's been hot.
Because the last couple of days have been
Really bad.
Yeah. So bring hats and sunscreen and stuff. We'll be outside for a bit.
Exactly. And then we'll probably take a couple...
9
a.m. Probably take a couple, like the last couple weeks off for training. And then we'll get back into, we're going to start our back to school program again. Probably in October this year, where I'll go through all those systems training again. I'm going to do a little bit differently this year, but usually we do our back to school training around October time to kind of remind you guys of the little things that you should be doing and all the tasks that you should be doing, and then figure out how we can make your business more efficient. To start off our back to school, Varan's going to be hosting a free event. Can you see this? Endure 2025. Varan did it last year too. It was really good. You had a bunch of guest speakers there. We had Sherry Cooper, who I really loved. She's like an economist. We've got Daniel Foch. I don't know. He's going to be there. And then David Greenspan, who we've had talk to you guys a few times. It is at a different place we've never been called the Durham Convention Center. So don't get it confused with Ajax Convention Center. Are they close to each other?
Cool.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Durham Convention Center is a brand new venue. So it's going to be there. So we'll send out more info. I've sent it out in the WhatsApp chat and email. But if you guys are here, you guys can go to the QR code. It is a free event. So I think everybody should probably go to this. Can't turn down a free event. But that's going to be on September 18th, probably all day. Or you got a few different things. You're going to be doing networking. Perfect. So we'll do a few seminars. There'll be a cash bar, I believe, and some networking. One free drink. And then you guys can network with a bunch of other realtors in the area as well. So that'll be a really good event that you guys should all go to. And then I'm sure the coaches are going to be coming in hot probably this fall too.
Sometimes you get too old, your experiences screw you up.
Why?
Well, one free ticket, and what happens, I'll tell you right now. I don't drink.
Oh yeah. You'll have people drinking for free, yeah.
Some guys show up 5 tickets.
As long as they show up to the event.
So if you don't drink, don't take a ticket. How about that?
Fair. Yeah. So exciting things. Summer's coming, unfortunately, to an end. We were talking about the CNEs coming, so that's unfortunate. So hopefully you guys enjoy your summer a little bit, but getting ready for the fall. That's all I've got.
We're back on Monday. Anyone else have any listings you want to talk about or advertise? No. Yes? Okay, Alex, do you want to come closer to the mic?
Do you want to stand in front of the camera?
Yeah. Okay.
I have 3 actually. Mine in Belleville, my condo, and I've got a listing. If you guys have invested in the beaches, it's a 4-unit, like Price Brothers built.
What does that mean? What's Price Brothers?
Sorry?
What does that mean?
Price Brothers built a lot of stuff down the beaches.
Okay.
They took over the old amusement park that was down there, and built like all these quad plexes.
It's just like the 1920s or something, or all like.
Yeah, 1926, I think.
So all those big triplexes, 6plexes south of Queen.
Is a quad, this one, yeah.
It's a
Is it south of Queen?
On Scarborough Beach Boulevard.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Big.
I like them.
Have you had any showings on it?
It's like 5,000 square feet total for 4 units.
Oh, wow.
And they're all fully self-contained, like, units. Yeah, they're cool.
No showings yet. We're only really showing 1 unit just because of how it is. One of the family members lives in it.
Yeah.
I think it could potentially have about 130,000 a year in income.
So have you figured out the cap rate at what are you trying to at the price?
Cap rate's quite low, so it's like 2.1 at 3.5 million, but they are flexible on price. So
Yeah.
if anybody has somebody that
Okay, so it's Belleville, Scarborough Condo, and Scarborough
In
Quad.
Belleville.
Yeah. Alex needs your help to sell any one of these. Would be great, I'm sure.
sell something.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Like you
Belleville's a good buy though too. That's a good investment
Comes with a
property for
tenant?
you. Has a tenant. She's paying rent.
you've got one for sale on Midland, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's not sold for
I
that
know.
price. I mean,
And it's nicely
I
done.
don't know why would anybody rent at Midland, Eglinton and Midland when they can buy this place for 300 and what?
They
$359.
Do you have it up for lease right now as well? Are you getting more action for both? Same.
Maintenance fee is like $500.
It's almost like when you get a tenant to apply, you should ask them if they want to
just
buy
convert
it.
That's so
Yeah.
every time when somebody wants to rent it, I'm like, it's cheaper for you to buy it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
I want to buy it.
It's cheaper to buy than rent. I don't understand that.
I don't know. It's what we go. It's really tough to get buyers to make that like decision. There's just not there yet. Yeah.
Some people don't have the down payment, they're not saving.
Even I'm seeing they do have it, and they're just still not ready to like take. Like they're just too scared.
$359. Will they take $259?
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Aiden, got
I
something?
have a great assignment.
An assignment?
Yeah, Bayview and Green Lane.
Bayview and Green
Bayview and
Lane.
John.
Baby and John.
South
That's
of Highway 7 by Tridel.
okay. Yeah.
They pay 2.4,
Mm-hmm.
and they're willing to lose all the deposits, so they take in like 2 million.
So bought for 2.4, willing to go for 2 million-ish,
1.9.
losing all deposits. What is it?
It's a condo.
Condo.
1,600 square feet.
1,600 square foot condo. That's a big condo.
Back into the golf.
2
course.
million.
Yeah.
Nice.
2 bedroom and a den.
2 plus 10, yeah.
10
Nice.
for ceiling.
Okay.
very luxury.
Closing is
September, October.
September, October. Okay. And you have it on our broker bay? You could throw it on our broker bay for our own agents to see maybe too. Yeah, that could help. But now it's live.
They already done 100,000 worth of upgrades, which I guess they're gonna lose the money anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I have this thing in downtown Markham, 1 plus 10.
Downtown Markham, 1 plus 10.
Just to reduce the price, $20,000.
Okay.
Agent is desperate, to sell.
Say it again.
Agent is desperate to sell.
Agent's desperate to sell.
What about the seller?
What about the seller? Is the seller also desperate to sell?
Where is it?
Sometimes we're more motivated than our own clients, right?
Warden, Westmont and 407. Enterprise.
Anyone
On
online?
Enterprise. Okay, cool. Anyone online have comments or anything to say? Any questions?
59.
I think we're back here next Monday. Nothing usual.
Over 700, 700 square feet.
Cool. Okay.
Okie doke.
Anyone else? Okay, well, have a great week. We'll see you back on Monday. Take care.
See you Wednesday.
Oh yeah, see you Wednesday for Family Day. You're right.